And we are live. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to the off-season NEMRR chat. This is the first one. 2024 season's over, 2025 coming up. And this evening, you may not know his face, but I guarantee you have heard his name over and over every weekend on the big speakers at Loudon. Because I know I hear his name all the time, and he's usually out front, and that was in Super Street. And Randy's kind of like the poster child for Super Street because he's going from Super Street, and with the help of others, and we'll talk about that, he's pumping up into the novice group, which he probably only do a weekend there, and then it'll be an amateur and racing. So, Randy, introduce yourself. Just give us a little basic background on you, and how long have you been riding, what you've been riding, and how you got involved with NEMRR.
Well, I've pretty much grown up on and around motorcycles ever since I was maybe about 7 or 8 years old. A friend of my mother's got us, my brothers and I, started on a little, the older guys might remember the old Honda, the little SL. It was a 70. I'll never forget it. And it was, I was hooked. I was hooked. I've been on them and around them all my life. I got out of high school, got a job, bought my first bike, I think, was an 82 or 83 Suzuki GS 550L classic.
Yep.
Not really.
Well,
it was a lot of fun to ride. Thankfully, I didn't wreck myself on it. Lord knows how that didn't happen, but I'm still here to talk about it. Shortly after that, I was able to afford a new Kawasaki. It was a GPZ 750 back in 83 or 84. Can't remember. And
it was kind of like the Top Gun bike, wasn't it?
Well, funny you should say that, because in 84, they came out with the Ninja 900, and I absolutely fell in love with that bike. I didn't get that year, but I did the next year in 85, bought the 900 Ninja, and I've been hooked ever since then. The Ninja has been the bike that I've always wanted to have. And just 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago, was it? This is 24, 5 years ago, I was able to afford a ZX-10R. Unfortunately, that was totaled a couple years ago at Loudon, and I was able to get, where is it? The 23 ZX-10R, which I absolutely love. I found out about track days. I honestly, it's interesting that I've lived so close to Loudon, and we've known, because we grew up, we know about Motorcycle Weekend because it's Motorcycle Week now. We grew up seeing the wild back before they really controlled it a lot. The people camping on the side of the highways, the circus, the absolute out of control circus that took place for years. And for whatever reason, I never went to the track and watched the races. I was aware of them. I was under the impression that was like the epicenter of all the wild goings on. So I stayed away until I got the ZX-10R, and I started watching YouTube videos, just how other people that owned them, other people that rode, and I started seeing videos on people going to track days, and that really got me interested. And I started looking around and found out. I remember my nephew had gone a couple times, and I kind of remembered but the videos really got me hooked. And I did some searching. I found out about Penguin Racing School. I went to my first track day in August of 2021, and I've been going ever since. Hooked. I'm hooked. I've been hooked since day one.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things about NEMRR. It's kind of like a self sufficient group, I guess is what you'd say, because you've got the Penguin School with Eric. Um, it's right there. Get your license, do your track days. You've got NEMRR right there, all
Mm-hmm.
inclusive. It makes it so easy that, and everybody is so welcoming, and
Definitely.
they've got the Super Street, which is
Yes.
something that was coming back up north from living down south for a lot of years and racing down there, and then coming back up here and getting the bug to go back out on the track. The Super Street thing was something that was totally foreign to me, and once I grasped the concept of it, I thought, what a great idea! It's really a great idea. People don't. I mean, you used to ride your bike to the track. Am I correct?
Yeah. Still do. Well, I won't now, but
No, you won't now.
no, I won't now.
But rode your bike to the track
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
changed what you needed to,
Yeah.
went out and raced, and then rode home.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like the poster child of super sport or a super street, I should say, because now you're taking that next step. Loudon's got, I mean, there's a lot of young talent,
Oh yeah.
and then there's us old guys. The older I get, the faster I was. That's one of my favorite sayings. But I mean, we've got so much talent coming out of Loudon and NEMRR. You got T. Cobbs, Ben Glotty, Eli Block, Renee, Mascaro, Crosman, the Benton Court kid. He took his license
Yeah.
class when I took mine. So and he's been on fire since day one.
He has been.
So there's a lot of really good riders coming out of Loudon, and it's really cool that you started off. So how many years did you do Super Street?
Okay. My first track day was August of 21. The next season, I started Super Street the round before the last round. I got in the last two rounds of 22. So it was either August or September I started Super Street and been in it since then. So it's been over 2 full years. End of 22, 23, and 24 also.
Okay, good, very good. Yeah, and it's just I always see you riding in uh, as you go by, give a wave, and it's just great that you are exactly what Super Street was set up for. You can ride your bike to the track, make the changes you need to, go out and race it, and then heaven forbid you fall down. That's not good, but uh,
Nope, it's
you
not.
can, then you can ride it home.
And the thing that really I would say hooked me was the affordability, because you did not need, other than the safety gear, the suit. I actually had a two-piece suit that I started with and used for a very long time. And other than that, just paying for the entry fee for the races, very, very affordable. So much fun. So much fun. Never had so much fun on a motorcycle. Never.
That's good. That's what it's all about. So let's talk a little bit about the upcoming year, because this coming year. Well, before we get there, because there's a lot of people involved with this, but before we get there, you're no spring chicken, uh,
Nope.
and it shows the vast variety of people that get involved with this. Um, you know, people that their kids want to get involved, and then older guys or guys like myself that are returning to it after 20 plus years off the
Yeah.
track. Um, and it's just such an inclusive group uh, at Loudon. It really is. I mean, I've felt that it's more of a family than well. I got the whole family right here behind me. Uh, I threw up
100% agree.
I threw up the group picture
Yeah.
for posterity. So all you people back there, I need to be getting emails of when you're going to come on so we can keep the show going.
Absolutely.
I kind of faltered last year and did nothing, and I had a whole bunch of people beating me up. Why didn't you do it? And
Say, well, you didn't get on.
That's right. That's right.
It's their fault.
It is. It is. So, Randy, what do you do for a living?
My full-time job is I work in a machine shop, and I've actually been working in the same place for 39 years. Wow. And it's not typical machining. It's CNC precision finish grinding, which is a bit it's not common. You don't see a lot of shops doing that. The machining part, the turning, you see a lot of that, but the grinding, the finish grinding it's not very common. It's a very, very interesting process, and I've been doing that for 39 years. I also have a tree care business that I've been doing for, this is 24, 15, 16 years now. So I've got enough to keep me busy. Of course, I must not be busy enough because now I'm motorcycle racing.
No, but you need that extra income.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures of your tree service stuff, and I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, I was airborne in the Army, jumping out of planes, but I won't climb a tree.
It's not for everybody.
Nope, definitely. I'm scared to death of heights, but I used to tell people, and we've got quite a few veterans in NEMRR as well. Yep. And I'll tell them in a heartbeat, yeah, every one of my jumps was a night jump because I had my eyes closed every time I went out the door. Till you get that opening shock, then you can open your eyes and say, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, what I do, it keeps me busy during the off season. Snowboarding, mountain biking.
Well, you're not a typical old guy. Like I don't consider myself a typical one. John Grush, he's another one, and the rest of the old guys, Rick Doucette and all those guys. Not your typical old guys.
Nope.
By any stretch. It's kind of funny too because there are some of the classes like the Formula 40 class, which I had to stay away from that one because you can't run the lightweights with the mediums. It just not for me. I just because I'm nothing but a speed bump out there. But the Formula 50 is a lot of fun. Formula 60, John finally got me to start doing those. He just badmouthed me into it, even though I'm the slow guy. It's still fun to get out there and do the laps. And there's quite a few older folks, and then we got a crop of the young riders too. So there's a really good spread of everybody out there. If you're watching, there's a little bit of lag on Randy. Don't worry about it. We can still hear him just fine. But internet being what it is, we can deal with it. If anybody that's watching has any questions, drop them in the chat. And I got one call out before we continue on, I'm going to call out Mr. Crosman. Need to get you on the show, man. I don't know how I haven't had you on the show yet. And I've talked to your dad a couple of times, and I sent your friend request on Facebook, so don't think it's some old guy creeping you. So respond. I'd love to get you on here and talk to you. I'm going to try and get Teague back up here, see what his plans are for this coming year, and Ben and Eli, and there's so many of them. But I want to get just all the other people too. I don't want to just concentrate on the folks that have been in the Moto America show. I want to get a little bit of everybody in here. So make sure you guys shoot me an email because I want you on the show. And that goes for corner workers. That goes for NEMRR staff. None of them they're all camera shy. I'll get John on here before the start of the next season, and I'll make him drag Nicole up here. Or I'm sorry, Noelle, not Nicole. Nicole. I got a friend that's Nicole too, so I get them confused. But so for this coming year, I see you have a big 687 over your left shoulder there, and that's definitely not a ZX.
No.
So
no, it's not.
Let's talk a little bit about that bike and how this all came about, and the folks that are helping you out for the 25 season.
Well, I didn't plan to bump up. I know there's some people that were giving me a hard time about ruling the Super Street class, and I'm there just to have fun. Put that out there. I'm not there to. Winning's great.
Geez, Sandbagger comes to mind.
Winning's great. Don't get me wrong. With that said, it's quite expensive, and I don't need to tell anybody here that it costs a lot of money to get out there and race, and to have a fully race prep bike was not in my budget. Well, I garage next to I'll say Sean Hughes Moto Minute Racing Clinic.
Randy, let me just interrupt for 1 second. Go ahead and click your stop camera and then start it again because you are frozen solid.
You got me back?
Nope. That's all right. We got a very horrible picture of you, but we can hear you.
Sorry about that. I've got Sean Hughes was incredibly gracious enough to himself and Moto Minute Racing Clinic to sponsor me for the upcoming season. And part of that sponsorship is the allowing me to race his bike in the novice class. And well, the plan is, of course, to bump up, but we'll see what happens. But he's made it almost affordable to actually get out there and do some real racing, to race with some of the fast guys.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I think your times you're gonna be, you're gonna have your little red end, and then you'll be able to peel it off and hang it up on the wall. I think it's going to go really quick because you just the last few races you really progressed a lot.
Yeah. With Penguin Racing, I really can't say enough about them. I mean, there's been so many coaches, Jeff Gray, John Donald. I mean, even Scott Greenwood was there a few times. All the guest coaches they've had come in, but I've been in class with Eric for over a year, and all of them, they all say the same thing. They're all teaching the same techniques. Very, very solid solid techniques. If you learn them, you're going to go faster. And I'm getting it through this thick head of mine slowly, and I'm thankful for them for their patience with me. It's allowed me to progress beyond what I ever believed I could.
Yeah, they've got a very good program, and you're right. It's everybody's on the same sheet of music, and you're not getting different techniques or whatever.
Correct.
They've got the core program. I mean, down pat. There's no
Yes,
ifs, ands, or buts about it. I took the advanced course one. I need to take another one. Um, just because if you think you can't learn something, then you're never going to get anywhere.
you're
And,
right.
um, and I used to be one of the track coaches for Ed Bargy years ago, and I took Eric's advanced and learned a bunch things that I'm not thinking about that I should be thinking about, and bad habits that I picked back up
Yep.
um, just because I hadn't been on the track in so long. You do the easy thing instead of the correct hard thing,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
I appreciate that. Eric in particular is very, very straightforward about what he teaches, and he doesn't beat around the bush. He's very blunt, and I
Eric?
appreciate.
No.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, because I need that, and it takes me several times. For some reason, the brain just doesn't have going, 140 miles an hour down the track as a safe thing to do. So it's screaming at me to slow down and to remember to do the proper technique amongst all that. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge,
Oh,
but it's fun.
it is. It is. It's yeah, that panic mode wants to kick in every now and then when you're
Yes,
thinking I'm way too. And then when you get there and you think about what he's told you, uh, my turn one line, I was all over the damn place. And after I
yes,
took his class, I hit that line every time,
yes.
and I keep telling myself, why am I going so slow going in there? And I just keep, you know, 50-foot increments as I can. Um, I just don't get enough seat time is what my problem is. Uh, but then again, I enjoy the social aspect of it too,
Yep,
because it is, there's a lot of socializing, a lot of fun. And that's one of the benefits. So Sean is, I've had Sean on the show. Um, he is all about it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
yep.
And he started the what is it, Moto Minute? Is that the name?
Moto Minute Racing Clinic.
Yeah. And I wish him all the best with his endeavors on that. And it's great to see that he's getting you out on the track. What do you
Can't
think
thank him enough.
now? And Sean's a great guy.
He is.
He's
Absolutely.
a retired crayon eater. So,
I've heard that. I've heard that.
I'm sure you have. I don't know if I sent him the little Crayola cake icon for the Marine Corps birthday, but if I forgot this year, I'll get him next year. Uh, but yeah, he is just a super great guy,
Yep.
down to earth, and he's all about it. And he will go out of his way to help you out.
Yep.
So what do you think the big differences are going to be? ZX10 to the Gixxer 1000? Because now that's pretty much going to be your full time ride.
Yes. Although I've ridden it a few times, there is it how do I say, it feels different. It feels different. I had Sean did warn me. He said there's no real electronic aids. It's an 07, so there's different modes on it, but my understanding is there's no real electronic like aids, help, traction control, and that's okay because I believe the whole season I rode with no traction control on my ZX10. So it was interfering too much and it was slowing me down a lot in a few places on the track, particularly going up through 3 into 4. So I had to shut it off. I couldn't, it slowed me down way too much. So I don't have a problem with no traction control. Like, oh, it's a big bike. Well, yeah, I mean, it's learn how to ride it. It's a tool, learn how to use it. And that's going to be an ongoing process. I expect it's going to take me a while to get used to it to the point where, I mean, the ultimate goal is going to be to have a white plate. If that's possible, who knows? But I will carefully learn how to ride it. And the goal is obviously to never fall down, but who knows what's going to happen.
So we got one of my subs asking about what the most noticeable differences with the setup. So you're going to be going from DOTs to, I'm assuming you're going to be running slicks.
I will be.
So that's another big change.
I've never ridden slicks. Never.
Make sure you put the warmers on.
Yes, I have warmers. I've been told that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cold slicks are not good. That's one of the big changes. Suspension wise, I don't know if you guys have gone over the suspension or if to set it up for you.
I haven't. I'm going to be working with Tim.
You can't ask for better.
Tim Hogan. I've worked with him a few times. Excellent at setting up, explaining, helping, getting it to work better for what I'm doing. He's very, very good at it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He unscrewed my suspension when I changed it over to K-Tech. And when we first did it, he used some software to come up with some dimensions and that kind of stuff. And we had raised the forks up in the triple clamp. I forget. Or we dropped them. I'm sorry. We dropped them a little bit in the triple clamp, and I couldn't get the bike to hold a turn. I'd get into the turn, and then it would just push me out. I couldn't hold a line.
Sure.
And I went back to him, and he was like, "Yep, let's just go flush on that." And boom, it was back the way it felt good. But I'm not against trying different things either.
Mm-hmm.
But the RS is so easy to ride. It just is. It's an easy bike to ride. It's because when you get on it, it's a race bike. It's not a street bike, even though they sell them for the street.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're going to probably see some of those 457s that Aprilia just came out with. I've been seeing some YouTube videos on guys that are setting them up, and they're liking them. So, not sure where they're going to fit in the classes. I know it's going to be lightweight, but I don't know if it's going to be like with the Ninja 400s or what.
Yeah.
The ultralights or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see where they fit in, because I'm sure there's going to be. I saw one the last round last season, but I'm sure there's going to be a bunch more popping up.
Nice bikes.
What are you going to do about that green stuff on your leathers there? You going to get some blue magic markers?
No, that is a how do I want to say it? That ties into my my love for Kawasaki, if you want to call it that.
Yep. Or you
Good
could
or
just,
bad?
this is just because of my tree business. That's why I got it.
Yeah,
That way,
that works.
if
That
anybody's
works.
busting your balls about it, that's a good way to go with it.
That works.
So I'm just trying to think of what we've got for rounds this coming year.
6 rounds.
Is it 6?
And it's going to be, I'm trying to recall from memory. I just looked at it a few days ago. The rounds, a few of them are going to be very tight within 2 weeks of each other. So it's going to be interesting to prepare in between rounds. It's going to be a busy season, I think.
I believe you're right. Let's see. I can bring it up.
There's at least a couple rounds that are like 2 weeks apart. It's going to be a very busy, tight schedule.
Ooh, why does that not want to come up? There we go.
Hey, there it is.
Yep. So that's the 2025 schedule. Haven't heard of any last minute changes to it. So April 26th, 27th, bring your long underwear.
Yep.
That's interesting on slicks when it's those kind of temperatures. Pretty interesting. And then May 10th, 11th, June 13th through the 15th, yep. July 12th and 13th. We usually don't have a July race, do we? Or we didn't?
No, we didn't.
And then early August and then the end of August.
Yep.
So we'll be done early for 2025.
Yep. Tight schedule.
And I haven't heard anything about the Classic yet. I really need to put a bug in John's ear and see what the plans are for this year.
I'm looking forward to seeing more of the, if you want to call them the fast guys, the Moto America guys come in. It really is. It's you can learn a lot if you watch them ride.
Oh, it's very entertaining.
Oh, absolutely.
Very entertaining. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago for the Classic is when I took my advanced course, and Stefano Mesa. Now, I've met him before down at Roebling Road in Georgia. And Stefano, that was his first time there at Loudon. And while we were out on one of our practice sessions, he was out on the track. And he came blistering by me, coming out of 2, headed down to 3. And little puffs of smoke coming off his rear tire as he was sliding it sideways going into 3. I'm watching him. I'm not even paying attention to what the hell. I almost blew right through 3. I had to do a panic to get it to go around 3, but it was just amazing to watch him go through 3. And most of them do that. It's pretty amazing what they do. And then, of course, we've got the local kids that are Moto America folks too. I mean, you got Eli, Renee, Adam, Jason. There's so many of them that have been to the Moto America show, and to watch them go around Loudon, it's a treat.
Oh yeah. I will say, if you want the best seat in the house, and this is a plug for the corner workers, help corner marshal. You want the best seat in the house, you will not get a better view. And I have seen absolutely some of the best racing ever in my life from the 310 split. What a view. Well worth it.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Because I know one of my classes, I can't remember which one it is. There's a group of the young kids starting behind us in the last wave, and usually 3, 4 laps in, they're coming by.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I mean, they're all super clean. I mean, very predictable everything they do.
Yes.
Um, and I usually when I get to that point in the race, I'm already thinking, well, Renee should be come flying by here any minute, and it's usually always in the same place, coming out of the bowl, going up the hill.
Yeah.
She'll go clipping by me, and then I know that there's like 2 or 3 more right behind her. So I just hold my line, and they all go by, and it's amazing. It's amazing to watch. It's a good show, but
It is.
I mean, everybody's really clean. Everybody's a good racer. Never seen any really bad stuff at all. Um, it's always enjoyable. We didn't get a whole lot of people tuning in, which is going to piss me off. Only got 5 people watching, but I'm sure we'll get a lot of views once it catches on that we're doing it again.
Yeah.
I probably could have advertised a little bit more, but I didn't. But
I know I do appreciate it because it helps raise the awareness of NEMRR and the racing down there. I would like to believe that it's attracting more people. It seems like there is more interest. I would like to see
would
more
like to
people
think so.
come.
I would like to think so. That, and I post a lot of my videos.
Yeah.
The old slow guy on the 660. You know, I put my stuff out there because I don't mind the backseat comments.
Oh yeah.
Should have done this. Should have done that. I know. I know what I should have done. It's trying to get this old mind to do it.
That's it. There's
Especially
always more to learn.
after the shitty crash I had in 22. You know, that way I was pretty much junked the whole season. And then this past season took me forever. Was it no, it was 23 when I got injured because my 23 season was shit. Took me forever to really get over that. Well, it didn't help that I came back from my crash in Georgia and then crashed in turn 11 with a low side.
Yeah.
Screwed up some ribs. That didn't help. One of my longtime subscribers there, he's, yeah, don't sell yourself short. Footage is fun to watch. It is fun to watch.
It
And I
is.
try to get front and back and all the different angles. So maybe this year I'm going to hit you up and put a camera on your bike. And no, I'm serious because I do have some extra cameras. So
Well, I run a camera or at least one or two every race.
okay, so maybe we can get some of your footage and we could follow you throughout the season and see how it goes. What are you running for cameras?
I've been running GoPros. I ran a GoPro 10 on the front, in front of my brake hand. I run a GoPro 5.
No. Take that shit out. We're gonna put another 10 on there with you for this season. So
I've just picked up a new an Insta360 camera that I want to start using mainly for the ability to look in any direction.
Yep.
Because I know for me personally, I use it as a tool to self critique my riding.
Yep.
It's a fantastic way to learn. Very purely objective view.
Very much so. So I've got another, I think it's right here, actually. No, that's a 9. Well, even that's better than the 5.
I've got a 9.
I got another 10 around here somewhere.
I replaced my 10 with the Insta360.
Well, you need to replace the five. So we'll take care of that. I'll get up with your first round this year. We're going to make sure you got plenty of cameras on there.
It is a great way to learn. I've carried it over from my tree work. I use it to document my work, to again self-critique myself. If I'm doing something wrong, to learn from it. If I'm doing something right, then okay, do that again. And it's a great tool. It really is a great tool to help learn.
I don't know. Maybe we'll put an 11 on there because I got a 13. I got a couple of I got the 11 mini, this little one. That's what I usually put on the back.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 9, 10, two 11s, a 13. I've got a GoPro 360. I got more stupid cameras around here. But it's great to have
It
because you
is.
get that footage.
It
I was
is.
out on the dirt bike today. I did a video. Um, I picked up a dual sport, a KLX 300, and just to go out and do some trail riding to stay in shape.
Yep.
Man, I'm out of shape because 20 minutes out there and my ass is dragging. Rachel, welcome to the party. We got another one tuned in. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, you can always watch these videos after the fact because I always have them up. I've got all of my live streams I've done. But yeah, I'd like to get this series going again. And what it's going to take is all these people in this picture behind me.
Yes.
Uh, you hear Randy, he's like, step up to the plate.
It helps.
Mr. Crosman, you are on the hot seat. I'm calling you out. And I've talked to your dad a couple of times about it, but we need to get you on here. Love talking to the young guys and
Yep.
gals
Yep.
about their riding, and because they're just like laser focused on it. It's crazy, and it's also really great to see them on TV, on the Moto America show. You know, it's not like it used to be where we had the wild world of sports and they always had some kind of racing going on. Some of the old Moto GP stuff or the old 500 GP stuff that they used to broadcast.
No, they don't cover anywhere near as much as they used to. It's a shame.
And after the first year with the big donor, I thought for sure last year somebody
Yes.
would have stepped up and done something. And I guess they just hate New Englanders. I don't know.
It's a shame because that classic last year or this past season was amazing.
Yep.
What a race. I don't think we had one red flag. The race from start to finish, there were no interruptions, and the racing was phenomenal. Loved watching it. I watched the whole thing from the 310 split. I was helping corner marshal the whole race, and my chin was on the track the whole time. Those guys are fantastic to watch, all of them.
I was pretty disappointed that we didn't get more of the baggers. Moto America baggers, I mean, they're all prima donnas. They can go kiss off. I was kind of hoping we get some of that bagger league guys. Because, I mean, those guys are, there was two of them. And then, of course, the one Moto America guy who was more than happy to take the money and then talk shit about the track. So,
yeah, that's a shame.
Well, it is what it is. But
it is.
I guarantee he cashed that check.
Oh, yeah. They're fun to watch. Would love to see them come back.
Yeah, I'd love to see a big. I think a big bagger turnout would get us a big turnout from Bike Week.
It would definitely help.
I think we would get a lot more spectators coming in from Bike Week. I don't know what was the schedule again. I don't know how that falls in line with Laconia for this year. Not sure.
It looks like it's going to be on the opening weekend again. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the 25 Laconia schedule is, but it really would be great to get a good bagger show up because they've got that North American Bagger League or whatever.
Yes.
So it would be great to get a bunch of those guys to commit to it. But then again, they're like club racers too. They're very regional.
Oh yeah.
So,
It's impressive to see those bikes go around the track as fast as they do. And you can, if you race the track, you can really appreciate it. Because
yep.
to get a 600-pound motorcycle around that track that fast, that takes more than a little skill.
Yeah. Yeah, and you also need a wheelbarrow to carry them balls around. There's no doubt about it. Those guys are pretty amazing on the big bike.
They are. They
Well,
definitely are.
We're a little bit shy. I usually like to go an hour, but we're coming up on 50 minutes. I don't want to keep droning on and on like I usually do. Um, I'm really looking forward to this season. I'm looking forward to see what you can do. And like
I'm excited about it.
My predictions are going to be you're going to get your novice, your little red N, and it's going to go away like after the first weekend. I don't. What classes are you thinking about running?
Well, it's a 1,000, so I'm somewhat limited as far as what I can run. I think there's maybe two or three different races I'll be able to run the first round as a novice. I think that it's all new to me, and I have looked at it, and I'm not real sure which is which, but I know there's at least two. Beyond that, don't know.
I'm sure they'll get you pointed in the right direction.
Oh yeah,
there's no doubt.
I have no doubt about that. Yep.
And I don't even know. Do you know what the amateur cutoff time is? The bump up time?
It's 23:0, I think. I believe it's 23:0.
Yeah, you had that blown out of the water last round.
Yeah.
So
I ran my last race of the season. I ran a bunch of 20:0s.
Yeah, you did.
Not 20, 20, 20.3, 20.8, 20.5.
Yeah, you were low 20s.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll be able to move right along up into the amateur ranks.
That's the plan.
And then it's going to be chasing the elusive. I don't know what the expert bump is.
That's 17.5.
Yeah, you're gonna do some chasing. I'm still chasing 21.5. I'm getting there, but that's kind of my goal. I'd love to get the. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Rachel. He's going to get the bump round two, no doubt.
That's the plan. It's going to take me, if I can even do it, it'll take me at least the whole season to get a white plate. If I can do it. Who knows?
Well, you'll be on a strictly race machine with slicks and a lot of changes. You're going to have to get used to that first.
Yeah.
And then from there, the transition to slicks isn't as hard as everybody makes it out to be. It's actually a pretty easy transition. It's just making sure you keep the tires nice and warm.
Yeah.
I baked the shit out of mine before the first ride of the day. and I try and get a little bit of heat into the wheel, especially that first round because it's always cold. So
Yes.
if you can cook them up real good and where you can feel a little bit of heat in the wheel, it won't lose the heat
Yeah.
as quick once you get moving.
Yeah. If the rim gets warmed up, it'll hold the heat a lot better. I do know that. Definitely helps.
Which should be good. All
A
right.
lot to learn.
You got it in you. You're still a young pup compared to me. But it's all about the fun.
Definitely looking forward to it. I am absolutely looking forward to it.
It's always a fun event at Loudon. Always a lot of fun. Great socializing.
Oh yeah,
And
people are great.
there's always some crazy shit going. You got Bam Bam running around. Uh, there's just always something going on. So if we can keep Bam Bam's clothes on him,
Yeah.
that's the big thing.
Yes, please. Yes.
Hey, all you folks here in the picture, I better start getting some emails or DMs on Facebook about coming on the show. And again, Mr. Crosman, paging Mr. Crosman.
Number 218.
Make sure you reach out because I'd like to get another one set up in a couple of weeks, and we'll keep this going over the winter. And maybe I'll have you back on one more night. Maybe I'll get you and Sean on here and
Sure.
talk about Moto Minute Clinic.
That would be great.
Yep. All right. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And everybody have a great evening.
Thanks, Greg.